in any kind of way, if even it's to swim, to cross the sea. If God give me that power, I will do it. But I must reach there. There is nothing that is going to discourage me now. Yes, as I'm sitting down here, I'm thinking of how I'm going to reach there. You see, the other thing that I'm thinking that really discouraged me is the talents that are wasting in this Sierra Leone war. We've lost many things. You see, me, I can play football very well. You see, I play football very well, you see. Why should I not make money out of this football? Why?
Sierra Leoneans were by no means the only refugees here. In Bamako, I found travelers from every West African country, even peaceful Mali itself, giving up on Africa, heading for Europe. I was really fortunate to get out of Sierra Leone and made my way to London. But it could have been me. And listening to some of these stories, if I were to be in their position, knowing what we are going through in Africa, knowing the desperation, knowing the war situations that everyone is fleeing, I probably would have done likewise, and I don't think I would have given up at all. Every refugee who travels northwards across Africa has to cross a great natural barrier. The Sahara Desert stretches 5,000 miles across and 700 miles from top to bottom. And every refugee I met who has made the journey through the desert has encountered death along the way.
Those two of my friends are very good friends.
They died in the desert.
They died in the desert.
So many.
I was involved in burying them. I have to dig the ground, put them there.
Passing through the desert, 2 jeeps, 44 people were inside the jeep, all died in the desert.
I trekked for almost a month and 2 weeks. When I was coming, I was beaten, rough handled and everything.
In that land there are many rebels. They beat, in fact, some people, there were some women with us, they raped them. I saw many human bones around, skulls. Just like that, dried up in the desert there.
The desert is a gigantic filter. Only the young and the strong, and those who can pay well, make it through. You always travel as light as possible through the desert. So, bread, torch for the night, spare t-shirt, mobile phone, new essential, your contact book. Of course, you need some cash, but just enough water. No one ever carries enough. In fact, nothing here is anywhere near enough. What you need most of all during this journey is luck. The migrants only travel during the day when they are far away from civilization and when they can't find or can't afford the human traffickers who carry hundreds of orders, the lucky ones, packed into open trucks and are transported like livestock. For the poorest and those who can't really afford it, they work much of the time. And, no one knows how many die, only God. The tough determination of some modern Africans is exposed by enduring this remarkable journey, risking their very lives. They are all clearly sending a message to Africa and to anyone else who will listen. And that message is, we seek freedom and opportunity to look after ourselves. And if we cannot find these things in our own countries, then we have to find them somewhere else. the desert is only the first of the great barriers the refugees face. If they make it through the desert, African refugees head for the northern tip of their continent, where Africa almost touches Europe. For years, their target has been a remnant of colonialism, a piece of Spanish territory in northern Morocco called Ceuta. This hill is in Africa, but those buildings are in Europe. The first world dropped tantalizingly into the third. A Spanish civil guard showed me the lengths they're going to stop African refugees getting in. They have spent millions on making Ceuta impregnable. The latest high-tech fortifications were finished earlier this year. As soon as you start cutting through the first fence, sensors will detect you. Even if you manage to get through, there will be Spanish guards onto you well before you can cut through the second barrier. They say since the fence was completed, no one has got through.
I think these guys should just forget it. No chance. None whatsoever.
Back on the other side of the wall, back in Africa, I expected to find many refugees waiting their chance to fight or bribe their way across the fence. I had to arrange to come and meet these two guys here because that's the only safest place they can talk to me. Eventually, I tracked down just two, a man called Osas from Nigeria and his friend who was from Ghana. Hello. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. They took me to a place in the bush where hundreds of sub-Saharan Africans had been camped out, waiting for a chance to breach Europe's frontier.
Here they come out about 500, between 500 and 600 used to live till about April when before the Moroccan authority raided us to Magnaya.
So
we're living.
Was it like tents or camps or whatever?
Yeah, it was like tents. It was tents, makeshift tents,
yeah,
made with black cellophanes and all that. You can see it.
So they burned them all down?
Yeah, burned down. That was about the end of April.
The refugees lived here for the whole winter, sleeping in the mud, standing up to hold plastic over their heads when it rained. Then most of them were captured and deported by the Moroccan police, and others simply fled. For a few weeks, just 9 refugees remained, hiding out a mile away in the bush. Now Osas and his friend were the last 2 left. But don't tell me that they were drinking that water as well.
That's water they were drinking too. They were taking a bath there and drinking. That's it. You can see the things they use in cooking and all that.
I don't quite see why, anybody would want to lose their life on the journey to try to make it in a place where it's possible that if you get there, you can't even make it as well. You might not.
Let me tell you, my friend, life itself, living life itself is a risk. Everything about life is a risk. You just have to take risk. So it's better you take risk, die, or take risk, survive, than not taking risk at all. That is risk in itself.
Even to the extent of losing your life.
That's what I just said.
They then took me to a concealed spot in the hills that was now their home. Osas told me that back in Nigeria he was a qualified economist.
Really gone through life in Africa, having struggled to go to school in order to be able to live a decent life. And after all that, then you are not able to get anything. You look for employment, you're not able to get one.